So yeah, as you can tell by the wardrobe change and how late it is here on the East Coast, I'm already in my pajamas, feeling all comfortable and ready to chill for the rest of the night. Watch my favorite YouTubers, drink some soda, eat some breaded steak with A1. Well, before I get to do all of that, I want to talk about the crazy shit I just saw on my TV. This is probably the latest I've ever stayed up. Well, not the latest I stayed up, probably the latest I've ever, watched a day race. A race that's meant to be run in the day and, finish in the day. It's like, man. It's like, I was one of those people on Twitter who, well, I really wasn't all mad like everybody else, but I was a bit miffed when NASCAR threw the green flag, not realizing it was pouring rain, and kept getting worse, and by lap 6 or 7, all of JGR minus Christopher Bell wiped out, including Kyle Busch, MTJ, and of course that imposter in Brett Bodine's number we call Dennis. So he was the luckiest one of all because he didn't really hit anything, but MTJ managed to stick around in the fight. I don't know where he finished, so I'll have to check double check the running order, but Kyle Busch, and it was livid, la vida loca. Oh my God, I don't really blame him. Dalton Good felt the same damn way. So, and Steve O'Donnell is a clueless pendejo. Who needs to go along with his buddy, along with his fellow fellow clueless buddy, Steve Phelps. The Steve putos don't know how to run a sport worth of shit, huh? They really can't function properly. I mean, they can't even do their one and only goddamn job. If Jim France was smart enough, and let alone wise enough like Dale Earnhardt Jr., he would have fired those clowns right away on the first day. Have we not learned anything from Brian France when he drove this sport into the ground that his dad and grandfather built straight up? Man. And I already knew they were not going to bring the backup cars out because this isn't an all-star race. It's not an exhibition race. So, of course, NASCAR is not going to let them bring the backups out. Although, to be fair, even though they did the same shit in the 2004 All-Star Open, but it wasn't rain, it was because somebody on the front row, Casey Mears, had a transmission blow up. And, Mayfield just ass-packed him, turned him around in front of the whole field and took out a bunch of cars. I mean, we thought we were going to see backup cars that night, even though, to be fair, I was 10 and barely understood this as a kid, and I lived in Michigan in the Lindor house, but shockingly, there was no backup cars for that either, even though it was a special event. But, and Joey Logano got penalized for work, we learned this from the 2002 Daytona 500 with boneheaded move by Sterling Marlin on the back straightaway during that red flag. Working on the car into the red flag is a no-no, but it's crazy how Logano got a 2-lap penalty for doing that, got busted on camera, and came back to finish in the top 5. That's amazing. And it's for us Austin fans, it does suck that, we have a new winner, and, we're one of those guys on the outside looking in, but I'm happy for Aric. I just wish that I would expect better from some of his fans that can be toxic on Twitter. Not all Aric fans are toxic, but there's a lot of them who are toxic, and mostly the ones who are still bitter about the 2018 Daytona 500. I get you guys are still frustrated about that, but hey, back then, a win is a win, like it or not. I bet you if Almirola did to Austin what we did to you guys, you guys would be singing a totally different tune. You guys would be the happiest motherfuckers on the planet. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on Aric or anything. I'm just telling it like it is, because usually I'm just trying to point out the double standard that is if, in the 2018 Daytona 500, the tables were turned, But hey, shit happens. What can you do? That was a fun-ass race. I mean, after that whole false start was all taken care of and shit, we saw some exciting side-by-side racing all over the track. Battles for first, battle for fifth, battle for 15th, battle for 22nd. There were battles everywhere. I mean, Matty D tried a gamble that sadly didn't pay off. If it would have gotten 10 to go, darkness a lot sooner, he would have won that race. people are bitching up a storm on Twitter saying Almirola's win was a Mickey Mouse win. Not me, thankfully, but saying that, you know, if the race went the distance, Bell would have won. I mean, right? I mean, you're probably right, but sadly, that's not how it happened. So it's not NASCAR's fault that, you know, New Hampshire Motor Speedway's owners, like, it pays them to not have lights on the track and based on the town it's in. But I do agree with a lot of y'all. All tracks, as long as they're allowed to have it, have the potential to have it, should have lights. That includes MIS, what me and my dad go every single year outside of last year due to the COVID pandemic. You know, we were not allowed out of our houses. Even when we were allowed out of our houses, like afterward, we got the clearance to be allowed to be let free out of our houses. There was no fans in the stands last year, so we couldn't go either way. So, but next month, we're going to get to go. Hopefully, I'll get to meet Kelly Stavis for the first time and do a Ricky Martin TikTok with her. And hopefully, I'll get to reunite with one of my all-time favorite NASCAR drivers, Kyle Petty. Considering this will be the first MIS race I'm going to go to that NBC's doing the race instead of Fox. And I doubt Kyle will KP45 will remember me, considering that I'm a lot older now. My voice is deeper. I have nasty-ass whiskers. A different pair of glasses. I'm losing my hair. So, he'll probably forget me until I show him the picture we have. But, you know, since I tweeted him that picture of us many, many times, he might recognize me without me having to do anything. You never know. Never lose hope. But, you know, but it's probably one of the best races I've seen this year. We didn't see a first-time winner, you know, but you know, Almirola, who, like, doesn't win very often, one of those drivers who just doesn't win very often. Whether, you know, there are some veterans out there now that don't win very often. I'm glad we got to see an interesting winner, but at the same time, for the Firecracker 400 at Daytona, at my mom's birthday weekend, while she's out of town for her birthday, we're going to be causing a lot of commotion at my dad's crib, whether Austin makes the chase or misses it. And it's probably going to be scaring the poor dog, you know, Luna. But I'm just thinking to myself, if my dad said he's going to let me stay up for that race, he better be watching the same damn thing on his TV. Because, you know, back when we lived under the same roof together and watched NASCAR almost every Sunday when I was a kid, we'd be watching the same thing and screaming at the same thing at the same time while sitting next to each other. And I got older, or if he was sitting on the couch or I was sitting on the floor back in my early years, or sometimes we sit on the floor together and watch. Like we did sit on the floor together at the 2002 Pennsylvania 500 when Steve Park had his lap one flip, and we both screamed at that at the same time. We saw that live, so yeah. So therefore, yeah, and we're probably going to scare the poor dog, and then we're probably going to be keeping my dad up all night. I'm not sure how that's going to happen that night, but we're going to figure it out one way or another. So that was probably one of the probably one of the top 3 GOATed Loudon races I've ever seen. I wish the Sylvania 300 was still around for the fall race and the chase, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, if there's gonna be one race at New Hampshire, not 2, might as well make it exciting as fuck no matter how it happens. But, you know, I was hoping Eddie D's gamble would pay off, but, you know, I would love to see him get at least one win before he goes, like, jobless at the end of the season, and hopefully he'll get not a top ride, but, like, a decent ride and a fair shot at redemption in 2022. But, what else can we take away from that race? Oh, yeah, Harvick lost another race. The imposter and Brett Bodine's number had a loose wheel, so I was happy to see that. You know, after they stunk up the Winston Cup Series all last year. You know, if it was Harvick one week, it'd be Hamlin next week, you know. I got fucking sick and tired of that shit. And this year has had more variety of winners that, you know, little by little, like, some winners have been the same, but there's been a lot of different winners too. Where last year it was either Harvick this, Hamlin that. They were stinking up the show every week, and I'm glad they haven't won jack shit this year. And out of spite, I actually hope they both miss the playoffs just to see the all-out uproar and like that NASCAR Twitter would have, and all the wars that would happen on NASCAR Twitter if, you know, both of those, like, ass clowns miss the playoffs. You know, I just don't like them just because of the fact I got sick and tired of them stinking up the Winston Cup Series last year. So out of spite, I hope they both miss the playoffs just to see the war NASCAR Twitter has with one another, considering how they bitch about the format. I mean, personally, I do like it, but don't like it at the same time. I do like it just for the excitement, and but I don't like it considering how it screws people, it's like the dominant drivers out of a championship. Unless it's someone I don't like, then that's different, because fuck Harvick and fuck Hamlet, aka the imposter and Brett Bodine's number. So we got a 2-week Olympic break, and then come August 8th, we'll be back for Watkins Glen. Now, tomorrow is going to be my open house to get ready for my new work program that's going to start on August 2nd, so I'll try to get some footage from that. But if I can't, then I'll just try the rest. Basically tomorrow is DJ Nash's birthday, the head honcho of ABC's Million Little Things, so I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. Like, I know I'm going to play Thunder 03 as Todd Bodine for his Officer Todd character in my AMLT fanfics, and give him a Live and La Vida Loca dance, but whether I want to go outside, if there's time after that open house, or if cameras are allowed at the open house, I'll try to figure something out. Maybe I'll try to get the open house to sing him happy birthday on camera. So I'm just going to stop talking right now and just get some rest and watch some of my favorite YouTubers. LG, Cream, and Dro posted a new video. So I will see you all throughout the week. Have a good night tonight and a better day tomorrow. Enjoy the 2-week Olympic Break NASCAR fans, and remember, fuck Kevin Harvick and fuck that imposter and Brett Bodine's number we call Dennis. Take care, everyone. Good night.